Keanu Reeves enters a luxurious restaurant in the heart of the city dressed in simple wrinkled clothes, as if he had just come from an ordinary day. He chooses a discreet table, trying to go unnoticed, while the glow of crystal chandeliers illuminates the space around him. But before he even gets the chance to place his order, a waitress approaches with a look of disdain and an arrogant posture. "Are you sure you can afford to be here?" she snaps, her tone laced with irony. "Laugh enough for other patrons." To hear what happens next not only leaves everyone in the restaurant stunned, but reveals a truth that changes everything. Before we continue this story, let us know where you're watching from. If you enjoy stories like this, subscribe to the channel, because tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. we have another special story for you. The Lumiere restaurant was a symbol of sophistication in Beverly Hills, located on one of the city's most prestigious avenues. Its wide windows offered a view of streets illuminated by luxurious neon signs and slow-moving sports cars. Inside, every detail was carefully curated to impress. Lumiere wasn't just a restaurant, it was a destination for those who wanted to be seen and admired. Ashley, one of Lumiere's most experienced waitresses, moved confidently through the dining room, wearing a rehearsed smile. Her immaculate bun and tailored uniform reinforced her image of efficiency and control. Working there wasn't just a job, it was a privilege. At least that's how Ashley saw it. Being a waitress at one of Beverly Hills' most renowned restaurants was something she mentioned with pride whenever she had the chance. But Ashley had another side, an exaggerated pride that often spilled over into arrogance. She had a peculiar talent for quickly judging patrons, mentally categorizing them based on their clothing, demeanor, and appearance. Some people just don't belong here, she often thought. The restaurant's glass door swung open smoothly, and a man walked in. He wore worn-out jeans, a simple shirt, and a jacket that looked comfortable but lacked any hint of luxury. Branding his presence was understated, almost invisible, as he calmly made his way to the reception desk. Keanu Reeves wasn't a man who enjoyed flaunting his wealth. Despite being one of Hollywood's most well-known stars, his reserved demeanor stood in stark contrast to the extravagant sparkle of Beverly Hills, and at that moment, he seemed like just another ordinary customer. Ashley was busy at the reception desk discussing a VIP reservation with another staff member. When she noticed Keanu, she abruptly stopped talking, her gaze narrowing as she assessed him with barely concealed disdain. He didn't look anything like the typical Lumiere clientele. Without hiding her reaction, she tilted her head and gave him a slow one once over, her eyes lingering on his scuffed boots. "Good evening," she said in a dry tone, forcing a smile that disappeared almost instantly. "How can I help you?" "I'd like a table, please," Keanu said, his tone polite and calm. Ashley raised an eyebrow as if she had just heard something absurd. Her expression seemed to ask, "How dare he?" She crossed her arms, her smile vanishing entirely. "Are you sure you're in the right place? This is a very exclusive restaurant." Keanu continued to smile unfazed. "Yes, this is the place," he replied calmly. Ashley let out a short, incredulous laugh, shaking her head. "Okay, just a moment, I need to check something." She turned quickly, not bothering to maintain any semblance of politeness, and headed to the reception office. There, she accessed the reservation system, typing his name with exaggerated flair. When nothing came up, she rolled her eyes and returned to the dining area, visibly annoyed. "Well, as I suspected, you don't have a reservation," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "We do have a few tables available, but just so you know, this isn't a casual dining spot." Keanu remained unbothered, his calm demeanor seemingly irritating her even more. "I'd like to dine here," he replied, his tone unchanged. Ashley let out an exaggerated sigh, grabbing a menu with an abrupt motion. "All right, but I'll need to seat you in a suitable area. Follow me." She began walking briskly through the dining room without looking back to see if he was following. When they reached the farthest, least appealing corner of the restaurant, she dropped the menu on the table with an audible thud. "Here you go, this table is perfect for you," she said in a falsely sweet tone. "If you need anything, let me know, but only if it's necessary." "Okay." Keanu maintained his slight smile, ignoring her tone. "Thank you, I'm sure this will be an interesting experience." As she walked away, Ashley muttered under her breath loud enough for a nearby couple to hear, "He won't last 5 minutes here. Bet he'll leave as soon as he opens the menu." Across the dining room, Keanu calmly opened the menu, his eyes scanning the options without haste. The live music continued to fill the air, but something about his posture was intriguing, as if nothing could disturb his serenity. From the other side of the room, Ashley watched with a smug smile, certain that he would soon ask for the check and disappear. Ashley leads Keanu through the dining room with quick mechanical steps, not even bothering to look at him. Instead of choosing a table in the center where the golden light from the chandeliers highlights the elegance of the environment, she takes him to the most hidden and poorly lit corner of the restaurant. It's a table near the kitchen, where the sound of dishes being washed and the muffled chatter of staff create an atmosphere far removed from the rest of the dining room. "Here you go, this table should do," she says, dropping the menu on the table carelessly. "I think you'll feel comfortable here, it's more private." Keanu glances at the table and then at Ashley, his slight smile unwavering. "Thank you," he replies calmly. She crosses her arms and narrows her eyes as if trying to figure out whether he's being sarcastic or simply clueless. "You're welcome," she replies her voice dripping with sarcasm. Just so you know, we usually reserve these tables for special cases, but since we don't have anything booked tonight, you can have it. Spinning on her heels, she leaves before he can respond. When Ashley returns to the table to take his order, her behavior becomes even more cruel. She pulls out her notepad with an exaggerated motion and casts a cold glance at Keanu. Have you decided what you'd like? She asks, not bothering to hide the boredom in her voice. Or would you like a recommendation? Keanu looks at the menu and calmly points to one of the most expensive main courses. I'd like to try this one. Ashley stifles a laugh, covering her mouth with one hand as if trying to hold back a snide comment. Oh, of course, the filet de Rossini *, she says with a condescending tone. A classic dish. Just to confirm, so you do know this costs $350, right? Keanu nods, his calm demeanor unchanging. Yes, it sounds wonderful. She tilts her head, her lips curling into a malicious smile. All right, then just to make sure there aren't any misunderstandings later, I suggest you double-check the prices. We wouldn't want anyone to have unpleasant surprises. Keanu remains unfazed, which seems to irritate her even more. I'm certain, he says calmly. Ashley lets out a dramatic sigh, as if she's doing him a huge favor, and jots down the order. Very well, as you wish, but I'll warn you, our chef prefers dishes like this to be enjoyed by those who truly appreciate fine dining. I hope it meets your expectations. She spins on her heels again, but before leaving she stops and turns back. Oh, and one more thing, the minimum tip expected here is 20%. Keep that in mind while you enjoy. As he waits, Keanu seems entirely unaffected by the discomfort Ashley tries to create. He glances around the dining room, admiring the decor and the pianist's performance. When the appetizer arrives, Ashley sets the plate down, forcefully causing it to slide slightly across the table. Here's your appetizer. I hope you enjoy it, or at least know what you're eating, she says with a mocking smile. Keanu thanks her politely. Thank you. Ashley leans in slightly, as if trying to provoke a reaction. You know, a lot of customers who order this dish end up not liking it. It's not exactly mainstream, but I think you'll do just fine. Good luck. Keanu looks at her with the same calm expression as always. It looks excellent. Thank you for your attention. Frustrated that she can't elicit any negative reaction from him, Ashley walks away, quickly muttering something to a coworker. The guy won't even make it to the main course. He's going to ask for the check as soon as he sees the bill. Meanwhile, Keanu continues to eat his appetizer leisurely across the dining room. Ashley watches from a distance, her arms crossed. A malicious smile spreads across her face as she notices that he seems distracted. I bet he's going to ask for tap water. These types always do, she comments to another staff member, who visibly ignores her, uncomfortable. However, the elderly customer at a nearby table continues to observe. He raises his wine glass and silently toasts in Keanu's direction, who responds with a slight nod and a smile. Dinner is only just beginning, but Ashley's growing disdain won't go unnoticed for much longer. After taking Keanu's order, Ashley decided to teach a lesson to the customer she believed had no right to be there. Instead of promptly taking the order to the kitchen, she made a point of prioritizing the patrons she deemed more important. She stopped to chat with an elegant couple in the center of the dining room, laughed exaggeratedly at a joke told by another guest, and even delivered a cocktail to a table that wasn't hers. Meanwhile, time passed, and Keanu continued to wait patiently in an attempt to provoke him further. Ashley repeatedly walked past his table, pretending to be busy. Every time he glanced in her direction, she averted her eyes and quickened her steps as if Keanu Reeves entered Lumiere, an upscale restaurant known for its sophisticated ambience and exquisite cuisine. Despite his modest demeanor, his presence was magnetic, drawing subtle glances from patrons and staff alike. Ashley, the waitress assigned to his table, seemed unimpressed. From the start, her behavior was curt and dismissive. She barely acknowledged him, delayed taking his order, and made snide remarks about his appearance to her coworkers. Keanu, however, remained composed, his calm demeanor unshaken by her thinly veiled hostility. After a long wait, Keanu was approached by an elderly man who had been observing Ashley's behavior. The man, neatly dressed in a navy blue suit, offered a kind smile and polite conversation, acknowledging Keanu's patience. Before they could speak further, Ashley appeared, interrupting the interaction with a polished but condescending tone, dismissing the elderly man's attempt at kindness. The man returned to his table, casting a disapproving glance at Ashley, who continued to delay Keanu's service. When she finally brought his main course, she placed it brusquely on the table and made a snide remark about the dish being sophisticated, implying Keanu might not appreciate it. Keanu thanked her graciously, maintaining his composure, which only seemed to frustrate her further. At the bar, Ashley mocked Keanu's attire and speculated about his inability to afford the meal, drawing uneasy reactions from her coworkers. Meanwhile, other patrons, including a couple and the elderly man, observed the situation with growing disapproval. The couple whispered about the injustice, and the elderly man muttered about the need for intervention. Despite the escalating tension, Keanu continued to exhibit grace and calmness, quietly finishing his meal. Ashley, determined to provoke a reaction, made louder, sarcastic comments, casting aspersions on Keanu's presence in the restaurant. When she returned to his table to clear his plate, she delivered another veiled insult about the clientele's typical standards. Keanu finally addressed her directly, asking her to clarify her remarks. Before the situation could escalate, the restaurant manager arrived. Recognizing Keanu immediately, the manager's demeanor shifted to one of deep respect and apology. Addressing him as Mr. Reeves, the manager revealed that Keanu was not just any guest but one of the restaurant's owners. Ashley's face turned pale as the realization hit her. The manager reprimanded her publicly, emphasizing that every customer deserves respect, regardless of their appearance. Keanu, however, remained calm and chose to address the deeper issue. He spoke to the staff and the dining room, emphasizing the importance of treating everyone with dignity and kindness. His words resonated with the patrons and employees alike, reminding them that appearances can be deceiving and that true character lies in how we treat others. After the restaurant closed, Keanu gathered the staff for a heartfelt conversation. He acknowledged that mistakes happen but stressed the importance of learning from them. Addressing Ashley directly, he encouraged her to reflect on her actions and make a genuine effort to change. His speech emphasized the value of empathy, reminding the team that everyone carries unseen struggles and deserves compassion. Ashley, moved by his words, expressed remorse and promised to change. Keanu's response was both encouraging and firm, reminding her that true change comes from within. The rest of the staff appeared visibly moved, inspired by Keanu's humility and wisdom. His message was clear: kindness is a choice, and treating others with respect shapes not only the environment but also one's character. As Keanu left Lumiere, the patrons and staff reflected on the night's events. The restaurant had been transformed, not just by the revelation of Keanu's identity but by the profound lesson he imparted. Walking down the illuminated streets of Beverly Hills, Keanu reflected on the power of small acts of kindness and the importance of creating spaces where everyone feels valued. His words lingered in the air: in a world where you can be anything, choose to be kind. If this story inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the story to show your support. Share it to spread the message of kindness. Subscribe to discover more heartfelt tales of compassion and resilience. Together, let's make the world a kinder place.